Ah, one of the recent Dirk lives that I did, I brought up Drake's lawyer up here and we watched his breakdown of some of the charges for Dirk and some of the vagueness in his complaint from his original arrest. You know, when they took him into custody before he left to Italy trying to fly out private from Miami, right? And there was a lot of hope in that video. I'm keeping it 1,000, man. I'm gonna have to go the opposite direction now, seeing this new federal indictment officially come down, a superseding official federal indictment that has gone in. I mean, we've seen that coming, right? So if we put on our ghetto lawyer recap, remember, folks, what came down initially when he was initially arrested was not the indictment, was not the federal indictment. It was because he was pretty much set off on the radar. He was being tracked by agents. They knew he was about to flee the country. Well, they interpreted him as fleeing the country. I believe that we all do, to be honest, right? The 3 bookings to Dubai and Switzerland and Miami, Italy, all at the same time. And they thought he was about to try to flee the country. They swooped in. They got a judge to approve virtually for a criminal complaint. And they swooped in, they grabbed him, they detained him in Miami. By now, he's probably already extradited from Miami to California, where he's facing these charges, the federal indictment. But that's the reason why they initially grabbed him. You know, we already knew about the prior 5 folks from OTF that was grabbed as well. They're all named and in the indictment papers have been released. So now the superseding indictment comes out and they got Dirk and they have Dirk with the additional charges. We already knew that he was pretty much being labeled as co-conspirator 1 in the paperwork as the leader. But now to see it officially unfold, to see these additional charges, I asked the question prior. I wonder if they're saying Dirk was in LA at the time of Quando Rondo's cousin shooting at that gas station in Beverly Hills. I wonder when he flew private, was any of these guys that was grabbed from OTF, like, are they going to be named as being among Dirk or with Dirk on that flight? That's revealed now, too. They have the answer to that now, too. Y'all see the thumbnail. So you got the 3 shooters. I believe the other 2 people that are indicted of the 5 outside of Dirk were in the second car that was helping to track and stalk Quando's truck as it was moving through Beverly Hills. And then the 6th person, of course, Lil Durk. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. And bear with me as we get past this write up here. This is a .gov website, so you already know what it is when it comes from that. And later on, I'm probably going to get more into actually pulling up the real indictment paperwork, the long, 10, 15 plus pages for certain situations here. I try to keep it smaller right now, but we're going to rock going forward. I'm going to start getting my hands on the actual paperwork for y'all. But after we talk about this write up right here, I want to talk about the lyrics that they put into the indictment. That's a topic that's just not going away. Lyrics being used against these rappers. All right. Chicago rapper Lil Durk charged in superseding indictment alleging murder for hire plot to kill rival near Beverly Hills Center Mall in 2022. 2 quick points right there. I mean, once again, people, we say it could take a day, it could take a week, it could take a month, it could take a year, it can take multiple years in this case. If they on you, they on you, and y'all are running around still recording these songs and talking trash and putting your flash duck sneakers on and self-snitching on yourselves and doing interviews and sending subliminals for a couple months and years thinking that you got away with it. No, it's all right there. They're just piecing it together, and when it's time, they coming. And the second piece that we're gonna keep reminding people of, the location matters, man. You got high commercial areas, you got high tax paying areas, you got high tourist areas near the Beverly Center Mall. They're not gonna let that one go. They're just not. All right. A Grammy Award winning Chicago rapper has been charged in the superseding federal grand jury indictment, alleging he conspired with others to murder a rival rapper, resulting in the shooting death of rival's relative that occurred at a gas station near Beverly Center Shopping Mall in Los Angeles on August 2022, the Justice Department announced today. So we know that part. Dirk's Bank, 32 years old, aka Little Durk, and Blood. I've never heard him called Blood before, but okay. And Mustafa Abdul Malak of Chicago is charged with 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire, resulting in death, and 1 count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun in possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Woo! That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, when we hear machine gun, you know, it's all through Chicago rap, Dirk's raps as well. We automatically assume a switch. It's a charge, federal charge within itself. They've been cracking down on switches for years. They will give you real time, federal time for switches. We've seen cases where people have posted switches on their Instagram, not involved in shootings, not involved in robberies or anything like that, or murders, but simply posting their Glock switchies on Instagram, and the feds came and got their ass. I think we covered that maybe a couple months ago. So they don't play with that shit. That's got to be what they reference here when they talk about firearm. But Mustafa Abdul Malak or Malik. Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry. That's Dirk's Muslim name. So all of that was Dirk, because the five folks that are actually named here, we see them: Kayvon, DeAndre, Keith, David, and Asa. We're going to get to them in a second, because once again, we're going to talk about the person that actually flew with Dirk. That's here in the write-up as well. It's in the indictment. But yeah, machine gun, the switch. Now, he obviously wasn't one of the three shooters, right? They're charging him with orchestrating this. So is this related to saying that while he was on that plane, they brought the guns from Chicago? I mean, when you fly private, people are flying with drugs, they flying with guns, they flying with all types of stuff, right? Because it's not flying commercial. You're not going through the scrutiny of you and I walking in and out of a regular airport. So is that why he catches the machine gun charge? I'm curious there. But the count use of interstate facilities, to me, that's flying in and out of your private airports. You're crossing state lines. And once again, that type of stuff makes it federal as well. Look at Diddy. When they're charging him with sex trafficking, there's just certain things that you do within state that's going to keep it a state crime, a state charge. You start crossing state lines, it becomes federal. So that using of interstate facilities to commit murder, interstate facilities, that's got to be these private jets. Y'all want to fly out of Teterboro and all that and think like, all right, I'm gonna take a couple pounds of weed with me. And even some of y'all be thinking y'all just gonna party with it. They're gonna look at the amount of drugs that's on the table and say, listen, how you gonna prove to me that you're not dealing? You know what I'm saying? And you cross the state lines, fed charge, federal. Damn, crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. All right. The indictment adds 2 felony charges against Banks, which is Dirk, who previously was charged with criminal complaint. Once again, the complaint is what they used last minute to pick him up before he flew to Italy. The 4-count superseding indictment returned late Thursday adds Banks as the lead defendant, the leader, to previous indictment returned October 17th, and charging the following defendants in connection with the August 2022 murder. So if you go by their nicknames, you got Cuz, aka Vonnie, out of Atlanta. You got Didi out of Chicago. You got Flocka out of Gary, Indiana. Man, you got Brown Eyes out of Addison, Illinois, and you got Boogie out of Chicago. All right. Banks was arrested on October 17th near Miami International Airport after law enforcement learned that Banks has been booked on multiple international flights. A federal magistrate judge in Miami has ordered him jailed without bond until transferred to Los Angeles for arraignment. I think a lot of us would put money on the table that, okay, when you start going through your Los Angeles process, and they, obviously collaborated with Miami to get Dirk under arrest and then get him to California, where he's going to face this federal indictment and then be imprisoned in California. A lot of us are probably going to bet money that you can send your judge for bond and for bail, and it's going to be denied. And they're going to look at that 3-flight situation like that's a wrap. If he's able to make bail or make bond with these type of charges and that flight situation, Switzerland, Dubai, and Italy, boy, oh boy, he has a good judge. A good lawyer. I keep saying, mixing judge and lawyer. My bad, y'all. He has a great lawyer, and he has a nice bail package out. You know what I'm saying? They want to make sure that you don't skip, man. They want all types of collateral and whatnot. Diddy still got shut down. 50 million package on the table. And they said, no, sir, we got you for intimidating witnesses. Go ahead and sit here with us. Woo. All right, let's keep going. All 6 defendants, none of whom has yet entered a plea to the charges, are expected to be arraigned in United States District Court in downtown Los Angeles in the coming weeks. Now, it's still early. which is why I guess that makes sense for nobody to have a plea. And yet you still want to see the actual chart. Like Dirk didn't have this actual federal indictment come out yet and see these additional charges. This right here was released, look, Friday, November 8th, 2024. That's yesterday, right? So him and his lawyer, they want to see what they're up against. They want to see what's going on. They want to see the official indictment, not the complaint that they took him under arrest with. They want to see the actual indictment come down, and his co-defendants as well. It's too early in the game. You don't want to spend a weekend in there, let alone a month or as time passes. But this is just the court process, right? And you're not gonna just get arrested and say, all right, not guilty. No, let's see what's going on here. Am I gonna take an immediate plea? Are they gonna walk up in the room with me and say, listen, here goes the video, here goes your face, here goes your gold dreadlocks, here goes your fingerprints on the gun, here goes this, here goes that. And then they'd be like, trial for what? Yeah, go ahead and bring me my plea agreement. Let's talk about this. Let's see if I can just get 20, not get life, not get the death sentence, whatever is on the table. When you're caught red-handed, even your lawyer at times would be like, yeah, we might want to try to snitch, or yeah, we might want to try to get a deal, or yeah, we might want to try to cooperate as much as possible and avoid, like, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Like they're all gonna probably still put in not guilty. Dirk is gonna fight it, if you ask me. He probably one of the reasons why is because he has the funds. Number two, he probably feels like he's insulated. Number three, the things that we're hearing is like still slightly vague. We're not gonna act naive. A lot of us feel like we heard all the songs. Yeah, we believe what we believe. We understand what's going on in the streets. It's been talked about for years before this came about. But what they're actually going to bring into court, the actual prosecution. What are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about a text message where I said don't put my name on none of the flights? If I gotta fight stuff like that, you damn right I'm sending my lawyers. You damn right I'm gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. All right. According to the superseding indictment in 2010, Banks formed an organization called OTF, which, among other things, produced a sold hip hop music from artists primarily from Chicago area. OTF also acted as an association, in fact, of individuals who engaged in violence, including murder and assault, at Banks' direction and maintain their status of OTF. Anytime you hear that direction, number one, putting him at the top, and you hear that to maintain their status, that's like Rico talk, right? Like when they say like in furtherance of the gang, in furtherance of your strongholds and stuff like that. And they're going to take that OTF obviously right here and just turn that into the criminal organization. And this is how you group all these people together. And this is how you say any type of crime enacted from even an OTF artist, right? You're underneath this. We're categorizing it as a criminal organization. So even if you rap underneath OTF, if I can prove that you've broken any crime as an artist that's tied to OTF, it smells like Rico. I haven't seen Rico yet, not in here, but that's the way it's always been described. No, that's how they came at Young Thug. Same thing, in furtherance of a crime. And when you really take another step back and look at it for a second, that's where Mama Duck is targeting, even on the civil side, right? She's saying the label, the music, it got a jump, it got a spike, it got more attention, more views, more money, because you guys were talking about murders that actually happened, allegedly, including my son, FBG Duck. Right? No? This is tough, man. This is not good. Yeah, I'm 180 and from that last blog with Drake's lawyer. This is not good. All right. Banks allegedly ordered this TB. When we see that, we already know that's the initials for Quando. Banks allegedly ordered Quando's murder, and hitman used money from Banks' OTF related finances to carry out the hit. Bank and flight records show that an OTF member and close associate of Banks coordinated and paid for 5 co-conspirators to travel from Chicago to California on the day before the murder. Around the time one-way flights were purchased, Banks told the OTF associate booking the flights, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." Now, that's a strong allegation. Banks and flight records show that an OTF member and close associate of Dirk coordinated and paid for. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that is going to be seen here as far as the coordination under the actual funds. Like, what's one thing that's always going to be on record when things are paid for with electronic type of fees, or a credit card, a debit card, a Cash App, like a PayPal. It's just digital shit. Digital shit. Like, they didn't do this stuff with cash. They didn't do it with cash. I'm not here rooting for killers or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't done with cash. All right. The same day the hitman traveled from Chicago to California, Dirk also traveled to California in a private jet with another conspirator, Kayvon London, aka Cuz and Vonnie. If you guys look at my thumbnail, Cuz and Vonnie, aka or Cuz/Vonnie, aka Kayvon Grant, that's the person on the right of my thumbnail. So you got the guy on the left with the glasses, which is David Lindsay. You got the person in the middle in the circle in my thumbnail, which is DeAndre Wilson. And Kayvon Grant is on the right. This paperwork is answering the question. This filing, this indictment is asking the question that we had several streams ago, which is, I wonder if any of the 5 people that is already indicted from OTF, are any of them somebody that was on the flight with Dirk? That is now answered in the federal indictment. That is bad. That is bad. Man. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, let's go back to that. The same day the hitman traveled from Chicago to California, Dirk also traveled to California in a private jet with another conspirator, Kayvon London Grant, 28 years old, aka Cuz, aka Vonnie. Later that day, Grant, same person that flew with him, allegedly purchased ski masks for shooters to use to commit the murder and paid using a credit card in Dirk's name for the other co-conspirators' hotel room. The indictment is saying that you use Dirk's credit card to buy ski masks as well as the hotel rooms for these co-conspirators, as well as Grant that was on the private jet with Dirk, who flew out a day before the murder of Quando's cousin. And then they got these cars. Call Brian Steele and Adam Keith and anybody related to Johnny Cochran. Wow. They answered the question that we had. All right. Mr. Banks is charged with orchestrating a cold-blooded murder that resulted in the death of rival's family member. We know that part already. Said United States Attorney Martin Estrada. Not only that, the shooting occurred in the open at a gas station at a busy intersection, endangering many others in the area. Violent gun crime of this sort is devastating to our community and will have zero tolerance for those who perpetrate such I'll just say brazen acts of violence. I've been saying brazen forever. There's no other way to describe that. The apprehension of Lil Durk as he attempted to leave the United States is once again proof that the FBI and our extraordinary partners at the Los Angeles Police Department have long reach. Assistant Director in charge of the FBI Los Angeles Field Office stated that no excuse can justify this violent act. And let's be clear, while you're going about your life thinking you got away with it, the FBI is piecing together the facts that will serve as your undoing. End quote. Wow. Wow. Cases like these that span multiple states and jurisdictions are complicated and can oftentimes only be resolved through the collaboration of multiple departments, said Los Angeles Police Chief Dominic Cho. This arrest is the culmination of the combined efforts of our partners in the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the LAPD's Operation West Bureau homicides detectives who discovered that Lil Durk, aka or Dirk D, was involved in the heinous murder. The hundreds of hours, pay attention. The hundreds of hours spent on the investigation included surveillance, authoring numerous search warrants, using forensic technology, and tireless investigative travel and collaboration alongside our federal partners led to this arrest. I am appreciative of the dedication of those involved. Hundreds of hours. Keep saying they on you. They on you. Whether you know, you don't know, whether you're still rapping about it or not, whether a year passed, they on you. Hundreds of hours spent on this. They probably just listen to the rap songs like, yeah, keep rapping. We'll see you soon. Keep rapping. Keep talking. Keep doing this. Keep busting moves. Keep breaking the law. We watch it. Okay. Oh, wait, trying to fly somewhere? Here we are. The other 5 defendants are in federal custody in Illinois. After their initial court appearance in Chicago, they remain charged with 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count to use interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and 1 count of using, carrying, discharging firearms and machine gun possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Jones faces an additional count of possession of a machine gun. That's I don't understand that. Like, why is the 5 defendants not being charged and extradited to California similar to Dirk? He said they're in federal custody though, but it doesn't mean that that's where you're going to face the charges. So let me wake up, because it just says they're in federal custody. But no. It says after their initial court appearance. Oh, okay. So maybe they could have had a court appearance, right? Same way Dirk did in Miami, right? And then later on, it's like, all right, it's time to go to California. Yeah. So maybe that's just what they got. Oh, okay. Duh. They was apprehended in Chicago, right? Lil Durk was apprehended in Miami, right? It's very possible that all the motherfuckers is on their way to California and LA to face these charges there where the shooting took place. Okay. All right. An indictment contains allegations that the defendant has committed a crime. Every defendant, yeah, I know. This is a .gov site, so of course you guys put that up there. So we answered some questions from previous streams. This got more serious as we all expected. You hear some of the talk that kind of feels Rico-ish. They now put one of the co-defendants on the plane with Dirk, also used Lil Durk's credit card to purchase the hotel rooms as well as ski masks. Real quick, let's jump to this topic. It's a topic that has always interested me ever since I heard it hit the news columns about Jay-Z and other big name artists looking to campaign and create laws and pass acts and work with government to get policy that says you cannot bring rap lyrics into court cases. I am a hip hop baby. Hip hop runs through my blood. I can't live without it. I do believe that hip hop's core representation is artistry and expression. So at its core, I don't want to come up here and practice any form of artistry or expression or music or rapping, so to speak, and then have that indict me or have that put me in jail. I don't want to create a freestyle right now or rap some shit to y'all like, yeah, because later on I might because I might just be expressing myself. I might just be telling stories. I might be in my slick Rick bag. Who knows? I don't want to go to jail for that. So the core of it, I'm in favor for, just like all those big name people and Jay-Z and everybody that was looking to push that. But when we talk about the reality of, let's use the biggest force behind it, drill music, it's not warranted to be passed. And if people support justice and the judicial system, they're not going to want that passed either. And this goes for families of victims, This goes for civilians. They're not going to want that passed because they're going to say, look at Bronx Drill. They tell me everything that's going on. Look at Chicago. They tell me everything that's going on. Look at even people outside of drill rap. They're telling me everything that's going on. Y'all see that music video? I didn't catch it back then when it happened, but it's being brought back out now. The video of Durk and some of his members, and at the end of it, they all stepping on cash money. That's the double. That's the bar right there. And they pointing down with their gum fingers and they shooting at the ground. And everybody's like, you know what that really meant? You know, we all know the term, what stepping means, stepping on, right? You got stepped on and they're stepping on money. Is that FBG Cash, after going and violating King Von by taking a picture at that mural in front of O Block, was then murdered for that. And now we got a depiction of, we stepped on him with Cash. His name was FBG Cash. I was like, oh shit, I missed that in the video. Do I believe it? I do believe that that was intentional. I'm sorry. The lyrics that they got in the indictment. Let me pull that up real quick. I remember the song. Told me they got the Addy, go, got location, go, green light, go, 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 go. Look on the news, see your sonny screaming, no, no. That's why I know the cadence to the song, because I remember it. He's talking about the Quando Rondo screaming shit, the no, no. Whether you want to go to his music, whether you want to go to his academics interview, whether you want to look at his posts, this is real. This is real. This is self-incrimination, 1000%. And they took it, what we all believe when he's saying, got the Addy, go, green light, go, screaming, no, no, no. And then he's mocking Quando, saying, no. And he had an interview one time where he mocked Quando too. He was like, feel like a out-of-body experience. Remember when Quando did his interview in the backseat with Angela Yee, and she was like, he was like, when King Von swung on him, it was like an out-of-body experience. Like, they've been trolling him for years. They've been trolling him for years. And what did the feds do? They took that and they put it in the indictment. And they saying this green light go, got the Addy go. He's talking about this murder. When he said no, 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 he's mocking Quando Rondo when he's out there screaming about his cousin that shot up in the truck. I did a video once upon a time, y'all, and I said, I'm just the civilian here talking, but at some point, the streets that I am not a part of, I'm thinking about why it makes no sense to me for you street people. At some point, y'all have to look at self-snitching just as bad, if not worse, than just normal, straightforward snitching. Reason why is because if I'm snitching, 99% of the time is happening when somebody is caught up and they're looking for some type of out or reduction, correct? They're looking for some type of self-preservation, correct? Self-snitching, to me, is worse than that. You want to know why? Because the self-snitching is happening at a time when these people are not even apprehended, when they're not even facing charges, when they're not even sitting in that detective's box, when they're not even under arrest. People are free. Self-snitching, and by self-snitching, you can, or normally do, directly or indirectly implicate other people that may have not been in trouble or been on the radar either. That's just my personal opinion. Y'all could disagree. Drop a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about that. But I believe, for me, my opinion, I believe that self-snitching is worse than regular snitching. It's just me. I think that there's no moral code to just regular snitching. Like, you did the crime, you did that, and now you're sitting there, and now you're just giving them up for self-preservation instead of taking your shit and owning up to your own and being accountable. I think there's horrible moral code and compass to that. But as far as like how we support self-snitching, like when we cut on a song, and we hear somebody rap, yeah, I just walked them down. That murder that's on the news last night, I'm the one that did it in the alleyway, and now I'm smoking on his pack and all that type of shit. When we hear that, we're supposed to respond and say, you just snitched. We're not supposed to just say, oh, gangster shit. You living what you rap. It's snitching. Whether you put the word self in front of it or not. Self snitching. Okay, cool. It's the word snitching is still in it. So why is it accepted so heavily in our culture? Why is it so accepted? Why do we see people self snitch and gratify it? The word snitching is still in it. And I really, really mean this with no disrespect to anybody that raps. They raps. Do your thing. But how many times do we need to? They did it to Young Thug too. His lyrics was in the trial. How many times do y'all got to see the authorities taking you, putting your switch on Instagram, and them coming and knocking on your fucking door for it? You just had to post that on Instagram, didn't you? You just had to show the world that you got your switch installed. You just had to. Or you just had to tell the world, like, y'all trolling me saying Slav Vaughn, but I killed them behind. I killed somebody behind. You just had to tell the people. Now, Lil Durk, I had an interesting take on that where I said, I feel like he was in a lose-lose situation maybe because of the people around him, what he represents, and the killers and the wolves around him. And his, like, at best, his career would have dropped. At worst, the wolves around him could have got at him for that. Like, yo, what we doing? We not moving for fun. Like, you just never know. So I think he was on. It's still, he's accountable, but it's still like, damn, that's a lose-lose situation because of what you represent, what you rap, what your career is pretty much based on, the people around you that support you, believe in you for. And if nothing happens behind King Von, then he could be in a bad spot. That's how the streets work. The career shit, like I said, that's best case scenario. Everybody just turning on him. So you're Slav Vaughn and 6ix9ine just pushing this big movement on him. Slav Vaughn, trolling him. Slav Vaughn. They be saying Slav Vaughn, I think they trolling me. Got it back in blood. You just don't know that's how it's supposed to be. No, we do know because you already told us. You just told us right there in that lyric, actually. They're not going to be able to get lyrics out of court. It's too far gone. There's hundreds or thousands of rappers putting actual. Why would the government give up that resource of saying, like, part of my, like they said, hundreds of hours spent on this right here, this investigation before this indictment came down. Hundreds of hours, they said, right? As a detective, as the government, why would we give up the ability to sit down in our cubicles and just play hours of music and be able to piece these puzzles together? Why would I give that up? Good luck, Jay-Z and everybody else. At the core, I understand it, self-expression and artistry, but drill music alone is saying, you're right, never. These lyrics are going to be coming in until they stop rapping about it.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.